Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on another episode on the Kevin and Mimi Milande podcast.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, we're just going to jump right into it.
Yes.
Today's topic is going to be a little bit, shall I say, controversial or passionate, um, whichever works for our audience, because it's something that we tend to get a lot of comment and heated backlash about. And we're going to talk about it and give our opinions on whether or not men and women can truly have a sincere friendship.
Yes, yes. And to make that question clear, can men and women be
Friends.
like platonic friends?
Yes, I think
Yeah.
everyone who's
I'm
watching
sure
right
there's
now,
a lot of people out there that are. They're like, yes,
and I think
they
that,
can be.
and I think that the audience that's watching right now is already assuming what our answer is going to be.
Yes.
Based on our friendship.
Yeah, they're like, what's up, boy?
So I can tell this topic is tickling you. So I'm gonna let you start.
Okay.
And
all right.
jump this topic off.
To answer that question, and I don't usually cut corners or beat around the bush, so I'm just going to tell you straight up, no, you cannot be friends. And if my daughters are watching, the answer is still no. Men and women cannot be friends. So I'll cut it short and sweet there and give it back to you so we can hear what you think about
What
that.
I think about it?
Yes. You're like, oh, yeah, sure they can. You're my bestie. Forever and ever and ever.
So, with the exception of the dynamics that Kevin and I have, no, I do not believe men and women can be friends. It's just been unfortunate that every circumstance that I've been where a guy wanted to be friends, within a short time later, this gentleman who was supposed to just be a friend was now making inappropriate comments or sharing feelings that they now all of a sudden have. No, you've always had those feelings.
So they were just waiting you out.
Feeling you out, of course.
Okay.
Lying about it so that they could be close, so that they could get close to me.
Yeah. Helping hands.
Right.
Yeah, helping hands.
Right.
Always there to help.
Whatever they need to do, right? So, and it's such a shame because we have such a good friendship that for me to stand here and say that as the woman, right? Because I feel like I would be the one to hold most of the power with making sure that the relationship stays platonic, right? So it's unfortunate that I'm saying that I agree because we're contradicting what we stand for. So let me go back. Let's pull back the layers of why I feel the way that I feel. So for those that are close around me, who have seen me around, et cetera, I know for filming these shows, we're always sitting down. They only see us neck up. Every now and then they might see a shoe, a pants or something, but they've just seen us sitting down. So if you don't know me, I've always had a body. I'm what they consider in the, I guess, African American community as thick.
Slim thick.
We're not going to argue about this today. Darn it. I'm thick. Okay. We're not having that argument today.
We'll give you a pass today.
So, but anyways, I consider myself to have always had a body. And so what comes with that as a little girl and growing up, are you still laughing about this? We done moved on.
Wow.
We done moved on. Look, just because you've grown around women that are Atlanta thick, that doesn't mean you can't compare Atlanta thick to Miami thick. I'm Miami thick.
Listen, you are super thick.
Okay, I'll save it for another episode, but just keep the facial expressions to yourself. So growing up in Miami, I've always been sexually objectified for as long as I could remember as a child. There was always some pervert, some male making a comment, approaching, etc., etc. And I've been put in situations where I was around mm, men that were in relationships with friends, colleagues, whether they were married or dating. And more often than not, that male partner would behave in a way that I would consider inappropriate around me.
Was there okay? So to be fair, because I know a lot of guys out there are gonna say, "Well, was there anything that you might have been doing or said, or a vibe you might have been giving off, or something, or it just was you just being casual and being friendly, and it seemed like it always went left field."
Well, okay, so you're right. There is a bigger picture. There are details surrounding certain things, right? So I'll give an example. My friend had just introduced me to a guy that she had been dating for a while. I had never met this dude before. I never ever. And she was like, "No, come over. I want you to meet him. Let's have pizza, etc." So I went over and we ordered pizza. They brought the pizza into the kitchen. And she said, and she walked over and she was like, "Look, she went to go use the bathroom. I've never met him. We've had zero conversations. Zero. I've never met you. I've only walked in, say hello. It's a pleasure meeting you. And I'm happy to see that my friend is happy." So she walks away to go use the bathroom. And when she walks away to go use the bathroom, I walk into the kitchen to grab a slice of pizza. Didn't say anything to this gentleman. And while I was grabbing my slice of pizza, putting it on my paper plate, he came in the kitchen and he said, "Damn, you have a nice ass."
Mm. Was it the way you grabbed the pizza?
Maybe it was the way I
It was
grabbed the
you
pizza.
Was like, you was like grabbed the pizza real slow. It was like slow motion.
Maybe I was being a little too, dramatic with the way that I placed the plate on the kitchen table. But I remember dropping the plate and running to where my girlfriend was to tell her immediately. Okay, so that's just an example because you asked, what that were there details around
So
it
from
that could have
personal
made it.
experience, you believe that's why it can't be.
Yeah, it can't be.
Okay.
It
So I'm just
can't
gonna
be.
go with just from if anyone knows me, I come from a large family. 11 girls, 3 boys. We have a big family. Shout out to my sisters out there.
That's why Kevin is so comfortable with a lot of women topics. Just if anyone wants to know your background.
But yeah, and me being the baby of the family, just growing up with nieces and cousins and just watching life in general in itself. My experience that I've always found is that someone, whether it's the woman or the guy, someone seems to always cross that line, or that line has already been crossed and they're trying to repair it or trying to make it more platonic. But since it's always been, it's been crossed, it like what is keeping them or keeping it platonic? Is it their faith? Is it something else? So it's always been a draw for me, and since it's like a draw 50-50, I usually don't take those type of unless I'm in Vegas. Now I'll take those odds any day in Vegas, but or playing the lottery, hey, but since those aren't the odds that you usually get, it's just not good because too much is at stake, too much is at risk, and it could become habitual. I mean, once you cross those lines with anything, it seems to create a pattern, and I've seen it with men, I've seen it with women. So for me, because the majority, and I'm going to go with the majority statistically, I know there's some of you guys out there that have really good friendships with male and females, and you're just friends. But I'm going to go with the majority here and really put my foot down, have a strong no, and I will give you the answer on why I say no, even though you guys may look at me and Milande and say, okay, well, they are friends and they seem to get along. But I don't consider Milande my friend. I'm be honest with you. She's family. She's the mother of my children. We have a family together. We have a family that we're raising together. My mindset for us is even in the future, one day we're going to be grandparents. We're going to have grandchildren, great grandchildren. If we're lucky, if we're blessed to see great great grandchildren. And you can't really take that dynamic and try to keep it on a distant relationship. So, because it took us almost a 13-year road to get where we are now, and we're sharing it with you guys by the grace of God. We just wanted to give a better picture on how a blended family is and how our dynamic has worked and how we've come from so far to be where we are today, where we look like the best of friends, and I consider her friendship important, but I consider our family even more important. So that's why we have that dynamic. Because if we didn't have kids together, let's be honest, we would have went our separate ways and probably never spoken to one another ever again.
Right.
We had no reason to talk to one another.
Right. So I'm gonna challenge you right now. So it's still that's beautiful, but I know our audience is still going to say, but you guys are still a man and a woman. So what is it that is preventing us from crossing those lines? Why should someone standing from the outside, understand why you and I are able to maintain a platonic relationship?
You know what? Let me answer that. None of your business. No, I'm playing. Okay, I could use faith. I could use our faith, and let that be the answer. But I'll go a little deeper than that. For me, it's more so what we lose, what's at risk, and that's what I'm saying. For a lot of guys that you're having friendships with, there's really nothing at stake but your friendship, and that's not too much to lose. You know what I'm saying? And if it's on a necessity basis where they're helping you out or they're the only guy in your life that's being a part of your life right now, all these dynamics that I've seen women and men go through. But for us, we lost our family. Our family was broken. Our home was broken. Our friendship was destroyed. So we struggled and fought and went through therapy and had to pray and work and yeah, to get where we are today. So the cost is just too high. It really is. And, we have our children are in their teenagers now. So it is really, really, really a beautiful thing that I'm able to sit across from her and we're able to laugh together and smile together when at times, all we did was argue and fight, right?
Yeah, wanted to gouge your eyes out every time I saw you.
So,
every time I saw you.
So and a lot of you guys are in that hurt and pain right now, or you just are in this process of healing. And I can, as a living testament, we'll tell you it gets better.
Yeah.
It really does get better. But I wouldn't take on any male or female friends. There are a lot of of your whatever you're classifying yourselves are these days. I know the spectrum is huge. So, but there are friends in your own category that you can sustain with. I had a lot of sisters and I had cousins and nieces, and some of them would say, "Oh, I don't have girls as friends because they're catty and all that." And it really was their character. And I would have, I'm big mouth, so I would check them because it's mostly your character is the reason that, that
you
problem.
can't have friendships with the same sex.
Yeah.
And that's funny
the type of friends you're choosing and the character that you have, that's your problem.
And that's actually one of our topics that we're going to be recording for an episode later.
Okay, awesome. Well, look at there.
So I think you just tied it in beautifully about the fact that what makes us different is that we're family, we're not friends. And what keeps this relationship platonic is because there's just way too much to lose. There's just way too much at risk. The idea does not even cross our minds, our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
We worked very hard to be at this beautiful place with our
Exactly.
families.
Exactly.
And so,
A lot of prayer. I'm telling
yes.
you. Oh, yeah.
Yes. So even though Kevin and Mimi Milande are friends, Kevin and Mimi Milande does not believe that men and women outside of
Yeah.
our dynamics.
Once again, like I said, I don't really see it as a friendship because I know that we wouldn't be on a friendship level if we didn't have a family together. We didn't share a family together.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so.
thank you. Sorry. It's 17 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm trying to wrap it up. I know you'll edit all of this out. You want to close it out?
No. Go ahead.
You did it so well last time.
You
That's
started
what
it.
made me remember it.
Yeah?
I started, so you close.
Okay. Thank you guys for coming. I was going to do Russell Simmons. Thank you guys for watching. God bless. Good night. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. She told me to tell you guys to hit the like and subscribe button. So I'm going to mention that so I don't get in trouble. But yeah, we would love to have you guys join us and be part of this whole dynamic. Negative, good comments, they're all the same to us. We love to hear from you. So share your thoughts, and we'll catch you next time on
Kevin and Mimi Milande.
All right.